I've been waking up slow with the weight in my chest, like the sun forgot how to shine in the west. And I smile when they ask, say I'm doing just fine, but there's thunder rolling quiet in the back of my mind. Some days are light, and some days I fake, and some days I break for my own damn sake. Well, the thing is, I'm trying, even when the voice in my head keeps lying. It's a war just to get out of bed, but I breathe in deep and I face it instead. No, I'm not alright, but I'm fighting to be. Well, the thing is, I'm still me. I got friends who don't call, and I don't blame them. Hard to hold space when your world's gone vacant. And I wish I could tell you what's missing inside, but it's foggy in here, even with open eyes. I wear my silence like armor, I know, but there's hope in the cracks where the light starts to show. Well, the thing is, I'm healing, even when I don't trust what I'm feeling. Every scar is a line in my song, every stumble's a sign I've been walking this long. And I don't have a map, but I've got my feet. Well, the thing is, I'm still me. I won't lie and say it's easy, but I won't hide the storm inside. If you're walking through the darkness, take my hand, we'll walk side by side. Well, the thing is, we're learning, and the fire in our hearts keeps burning. Even when the night feels too long, the strength in the fact we go on. So if you're not okay, let this song set you free. Cause the thing is, you're still you, and that's still enough for me.
You're still you, and that's still enough for me. Hey, everybody. Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Hey, H. Davis. Hey, J. Moko. How y'all doing tonight? Hey, Bush Watchers and everybody out there across the world and the YouTube verse and to the replay gang. Hi, how you doing?
What is going on, everybody? So, I had an interesting day today.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good day today because you know it could have been a bad one. But
Well, I'll be honest. I haven't slept in 3 days.
ooh, you need your sleep, Bubba.
Every time I lay down to go to sleep, I can't.
I've had that issue before, though. Insomnia is a B, and it just sometimes this is what sucks when you have insomnia is that you have to wait until it catches up to you and knocks you out. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Either that or they put you on sleep meds. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on sleep meds. I take them at night.
And they still ain't working?
Nope.
Mm.
So I got to figure something out.
Yeah, because going without sleep's not healthy. It's not good for you. Me, myself, and I end up, what happens is if I end up having those days where I can't sleep and I stay up to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, I feel like crap for about 3 or 4 days. And all of a sudden it hits me on that 3rd or 4th day. That's why I'll be missing stuff. I go to bed at like 7 or 8 o'clock. I'll be asleep all the way to the next morning. But then I end up waking up early. And I'm like, oh, no, not 7 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, because then I'm going to have trouble get my sleep schedule back.
So I was talking, I was on the phone with a friend, and I think Monday, we have a really good topic we're going to cover Monday.
Ooh, awesome.
So patience.
Well, that's a big one.
So we're going to cover that Monday because it's connected to a bunch of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all over. Like patience is a thing and a virtue sometimes, and sometimes it's hard. So yeah, that's going to be a great topic.
It's connected to stress and other numerous things. So, yeah.
Having patience is hard also when it's like when you're talking about when it's connected to stress, like for your situation where you had to wait on that blood work, right? That was a very stressful situation, and trying to be patient and wait on it is like, especially for something like that, like your brain assumes the worst and you don't have patience for that.
Or when you're stressed out, you can patiently not do something. Or when you're stressed out, you don't have the patience to go to therapy, or you don't have the patience to call a doctor's office, or you don't have the patience to go take a shower, or you don't have the patience to make yourself something to eat, or you don't have the patience. So there's a lot of things, and we're going to cover that Monday. So, I at one time in life, OCD, I believe I used to have that back in the day. And I think I outgrew it.
I don't think I've outgrew it. I believe I kind of have it a little bit, but I got it from I will say, as we're going to read this article in just a bit, that for me, OCD started from learning it from my mother, because she used to keep the house so clean you could lick the wall and the floor. Like you could eat off the floor, it was so clean. I am not joking you. And she's always been that way, and everything.
Yeah. So let's get this article going. So it's a short article, believe it or not. Okay. Because OCD is obsessive-compulsive disorder. Is straightforward. It's simple. It's direct. When unwanted thoughts or repetitive behaviors take over. What is OCD? Obsessive-compulsive disorder is a long-lasting disorder in which a person experiences uncontrollable and reoccurring thoughts, obsessions, engages in repetitive behaviors, compulsions, or both. People with OCD have time-consuming symptoms that can cause significant distress or interfere with daily life. However, treatment is available to help people manage their symptoms and improve their quality of life. What are the signs and symptoms of OCD? People with OCD may have obsessions, compulsions, or both. Obsessions are repeated thoughts, urges, or mental images that are intrusive, unwanted, and make most people anxious. Common obsessions include fear of germs, contamination. Believe it or not, one of the American Got Talent judges, Howie Mandel, has an OCD. He's a germaphobe. He don't shake hands. He's constantly washing his hands, or putting something on his hands to avoid germs. Fear of forgetting, losing, or misplacing something. Fear of losing control over one's behavior. Aggressive thoughts towards others or oneself. Unwanted, forbidden, or taboo thoughts involving sex, religion, or harm. Desire to have things symmetrical or in perfect order. Like Charlie mom, cleanliness. If a drop of soda hit the floor, she has to redo the whole floor. If it hit the counter, she's got to redo the whole kitchen. You know, OCD. Like you got people who don't allow shoes in the house because everything has to be perfect. Now, compulsions are repetitive behaviors a person feels the urge to do, often in response to an obsession. Common compulsions include I thought desire to have things symmetrical and perfect order, but then you have excessive cleaning or hand washing. Okay.
See, the obsession is not getting the germs, and the compulsion is the hand washing, the act of.
Okay. Ordering or rearranging items in particular precise way. That's how I used to be. Everything had to be perfectly ordered, height, everything, right? Um, if one book, when I had my bookshelf, if one book was tall, I had to measure it down from tall to shortest. You know, everything had to be in a particular way. Repeating or repeatedly checking things, such as the door, as the door is locked or the oven is off. Compulsive counting, praying or repeating words daily.
Yeah, like sometimes if I'm trying to remember something, because I get super forgetful about things, I'll repeat, like let's say it's a number sequence, I'll repeat it to myself over and over and over again until I get to write it down or something, because I know I'll forget it if I don't. It's kind of helpful though, that is.
Yes. Recognizing OCD. How to know your symptoms are OCD. Everyone rethinks or double checks things sometimes. Not all repeated thoughts are obsessions, and not all rituals or habits are compulsions. People with OCD generally can't control their obsessions or compulsions even when they know they're excessive. Spend more than 1 hour a day on their obsession or the compulsions. Don't get pleasure from their compulsions but may feel temporary relief from their anxiety. Experience significant problems in daily life due to these thoughts or behaviors. Some people with OCD also have a tic disorder involving repetitive movements or sounds. Motor tics are sudden, brief, repetitive movements, such as eye blinking and other eye movements, facial grimacing, shoulder shrugging, or head or shoulder jerking. Vocal tics include things like repetitive throat clearing, sniffing, or grunting sounds. It is common for people with OCD to also have a diagnosed mood disorder or anxiety disorder. OCD sometimes may begin anytime, but usually start between late childhood and young adulthood. Most people with OCD are diagnosed as young adults. The symptoms of OCD may start slowly and can go away for a while or worsen as time passes. During times of stress, the symptoms often get worse. A person's obsession compulsion may change over time. People with OCD might avoid situations that trigger their symptoms or use substances or alcohol to cope. Many adults with OCD recognize their compulsive behavior but not make that behaviors do not make sense. However, children may not realize that their behavior is out of the ordinary. and often fear that something terrible will happen if they do not perform certain compulsive rituals. Parents or teachers typically recognize OCD symptoms in their children. If you think you or your child may have OCD, talk to a healthcare provider. If it's left untreated, OCD symptoms become severe and interfere in your daily life. Go ahead, Charlie.
Before we finish up, thank you, Cash, for that $19.99 super sticker, super chat. Okay, so let me go ahead. What are the risks? Oh, you want to?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You know, he said OCD is, hold on, is not Monica from Friends or Monk. I have suffered from OCD for 40 years, since age 5. Please check International OCD Foundation, IOCDF. We all have OCD-esque habits, but real OCD almost ended me. I have physical and mental scars. We'll be listening. I'm an advocate for OCD and other things. IDF, OCDF. Okay. I will check that out, Cash.
And I'm glad you're still here, Cash. Just saying.
Yeah. And thank you.
I wouldn't have nobody to take my money during poker night. No, I'm just kidding. Had to make you laugh a little, you know. Do you want me to continue reading?
Yes, you can. I'm going to look up OCDF. I want to look that up while you're reading.
Okay. What are the risk factors for OCD? Although the exact cause of OCD are unknown, various risk factors increase the chances of developing the disorder. Genetics. Studies have shown that having a first-degree relative, parent, or sibling with OCD is associated with an increased chance of developing the disorder. Scientists have not identified any one gene or set of genes that definitely leads to OCD, but studies exploring the connection between genetics and OCD are ongoing. Biology. Brain imaging studies have shown that people with OCD often have differences in the frontal cortex and the subcortical structures of the brain, areas of the brain that impact the ability to control behavior and emotion responses. Researchers have also found several brain areas, brain networks, and biological processes play a key role in the obsessive thoughts, compulsive behavior, and associated fear and anxiety. Research is underway to better understand the connection between OCD symptoms and parts of the brain. This knowledge can help researchers develop and adapt treatments targeted to specific brain locations. Temperament. Some researchers have found that people who exhibit more reserved behaviors, experience negative emotions, and show symptoms of anxiety and depression as children are more likely to develop OCD. Childhood trauma. Some studies have reported an association between childhood trauma and obsessive-compulsive symptoms. More research is needed to understand this relationship. Children who suddenly develop OCD symptoms or experience a worsening of OCD symptoms after a streptococcus infection may be diagnosed with pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorder associated with streptococcal infection or PANDAS, PANDAS. Learn more about PANDAS. How is OCD diagnosed? Diagnosing OCD can be difficult because symptoms such as worry, anxiety, and low mood, which are often people's most distressing concerns, can be similar to those other mental illnesses. Also, people with OCD may not tell their healthcare provider about their obsessions and compulsions out of fear of judgment. If you are experiencing symptoms, the first thing you should do is speak with a healthcare provider. They will examine you and ask about your health history to ensure other illnesses or conditions are not causing you symptoms. A healthcare provider may refer you to a mental health professional for further evaluation or treatment. How is OCD treated? Treatment helps many people, even those with most severe forms of OCD. Mental health professionals treat OCD with medications, psychotherapy, or a combination of treatments. A mental health professional can help you decide which treatment option is best for you and explain the benefits and risks of each. Following your treatment plan is important because psychotherapy and medication can take some time to work. Although there is no cure for OCD, treatments help people manage their symptoms, engage in day-to-day activities, and lead full, active lives. Psychotherapy. Psychotherapy can be effective treatment for adults and children with OCD. Research shows that certain types of psychotherapy, including cognitive behavioral therapy and other related therapies, can be as effective as medication for many people. For others, psychotherapy may be more effective when combined with medication. So, what is cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure and responsive preventative therapies? So, we're going to talk about that. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is a type of therapy that helps people recognize harmful or untrue ways of thinking, so they can more clearly view and respond to a challenging situation. CBT helps people learn to question these negative thoughts, determine how they impact their feelings and actions, and change self-defeating behavioral patterns. CBT has been well studied and is considered the gold standard of psychotherapy for many people. CBT works best when customized to treat the unique characteristics of specific mental health disorders, including OCD. Exposure and response prevention therapy, or ERP. Research shows that ERP, a specific type of CBT, ineffectively reduces compulsive behaviors, even for people who do not respond well to medication. With ERP, people spend time in a safe environment that gradually exposes them to the situation that triggers their obsession, such as touching dirty objects, and prevent them from engaging in their typical compulsive behavior, such as hand washing. Although this approach may initially cause anxiety, creating a risk of dropping out of treatment permanently, compulsion decreases for most people as they continue treatment. Children with OCD may need additional help from family members and healthcare providers to recognize and manage their OCD symptoms. Mental health professionals can work with young children to identify strategies for managing stress and increasing support so they can control their OCD symptoms. Learn more about psychotherapy, including CBT. Medications. Healthcare providers may prescribe medications that help treat OCD. The most common medications prescribed for OCD are antidepressants that target serotonin, a chemical transmitter in the brain involved in depression and OCD. The largest category of antidepressants is called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Antidepressant treatment can take 8 to 12 weeks before the symptoms begin to improve, and treatment for OCD may require higher doses than are typically used to treat depression. For some people, these medications may cause side effects such as headaches, nausea, or difficulty sleeping. Most people with OCD find that medications, often in combination with psychotherapy, can help them manage their symptoms. Your healthcare provider can adjust medication doses over time to minimize side effects or withdrawal symptoms. Do not stop taking your medication without first talking to your healthcare provider. They can work with you to monitor your health and adjust your treatment plan safely and effectively. Read the most up-to-date information on medication side effects warnings on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration website. Other treatments. In 2018, the FDA approved using a deep form of repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, RTMS, along with medications, psychotherapy, or a combination of both, to treat people with severe OCD who did not respond to other treatments. In 2022, this approval was extended to standard TMS devices. Most common use to treat depression. RTMS is a non-invasive therapy that uses a magnet to deliver repeated low-intensity pulses to stimulate a particular part of the brain. Unlike most treatments, RTMS can target specific brain areas associated with OCD. Deep brain stimulation, DBS, is a non-surgical procedure that uses electricity to directly stimulate sites in the brain. Healthcare providers may use DBS to treat people with severe OCD when other treatments have not worked. However, this therapy is considered experimental. Although DBS has received FDA approval to treat certain neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, its effectiveness for treating mental disorders is still being actively researched. The FDA has approved using DBS to treat severe cases of OCD under a humanitarian device exemption. This exemption allows the use of the medical device, such as a DBS, for rare diseases or conditions that affect a relatively small number of people, making it challenging to gather enough evidence to establish the device's effectiveness. You can learn more about brain stimulation therapies, including RTMS and DBS, on the NIMH website, or visit the FDA website for the latest information and guidance on brain stimulation devices. Effective strategies for managing stress and anxiety. You can do several things to manage the stress and anxiety associated with OCD. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Make regular exercise a part of your routine. Eat a healthy and balanced diet. Seek support from trusted family and friends. How can I help? If you're unsure where to get help, a healthcare provider is an excellent place to start. They can refer you to a qualified mental health professional who has experience treating OCD and can evaluate your symptoms. You can learn more about getting help and finding a healthcare provider on the NIMH website. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration has an online treatment locator to help you find mental health services in your area. Also note that if you're in crisis, call 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. What are clinical trials and why are they important? Clinical trials are research studies that look at new ways to prevent, detect, and treat diseases and conditions. These studies help researchers determine if a new treatment is safe and effective in people. The main purpose of a clinical trial is to gain new scientific knowledge so that others may be better helped in the future. People volunteer for clinical trials for many reasons. So people join clinical trials to help doctors and researchers learn more about disease and improve health care. Other people, such as those with health conditions, join to try the new and advanced treatments that are widely available. So, they have new treatments they're trying. Not saying that they're not approved yet.
So, Cash, OCDF is International OCD Foundation. Am I correct?
Also, we are not medical professionals and cannot give you medical advice. We are giving you knowledge that we are learning and spreading awareness. Just saying, our disclaimer: go seek a professional.
His answer was yes. So, I want to share a link. Okay.
Good evening, Bart Robertson. Good evening. Good evening.
For those of you who struggle with OCD, here's a website. It's called it talks about millions in the U.S. living with OCD. It has research. You could take the OCD screener. You can find the right OCD therapist. Find clinics specializing in OCD. Find support groups and treatment groups. Resource directory, definitions and search terms. Find a therapist of color. Managing OCD in difficult times. Participate in research studies. Help kids with OCD. Help hoarding disorder. Help for people with body dysmorphic disorder, BDD. And help for BFRBs. So, what is BFRBs? Body focused repetitive behaviors. Okay, so if you get a chance, even you, Charlie, go to International OCD Foundation. I'm looking at the site, and I wouldn't mind educational conferences, They have educational conferences. You could go in person if you're in that area of Seattle, or you could do a virtual. So they mainly have virtual visits, and they give you a list. 31st annual OCD conference, July 9th to the 12th, 2026, the Hyatt Regency Seattle, Washington hotel. Or you could do virtual. For those impacted by OCD and related disorders, mental health professionals, and researchers, the conference is the largest national event focused solely on OCD and related disorders. This extraordinary event brings together individuals with OCD, their loved ones, and mental health professionals under the same roof with the goal of educating attendees about the latest treatments, research, and practice in OCD and related disorders. That's amazing.
That is absolutely amazing. I would like to add that to our list is body dysmorphia. That is a thing that a lot of people actually go through and don't even realize it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Cash, for sharing that. Thank you. I'm looking at the website, and it's not about it's not about money. It's about awareness. You could donate to the scholarship fund if you want to. It says, we are thrilled to offer a variety of conferences, both in person and virtual. For all those impacted by OCD and related conditions, we encourage the global network of people who live experience, family members and supporters, mental health professionals, researchers, educators, and students to join us for community, collaboration, and education. That's amazing. So, and Cash said one day, okay. Oh, so Ethan Smith was in the pilot episode of Dexter. He has OCD. And then Chris Trotston has body dysmorphia, BDD. Kentucky Lee, how you doing?
Hey, Kentucky Lee, beautiful.
So, all right. Are you checking out the website?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. It's actually I love the fact that this website is all about educating people, because what's better way to take the stigma out of something than education-wise? I love the fact that they, they have information for professionals set here, for teens and young adults, for families, you know what I'm saying? A message for parents and siblings, so like, how does my loved one have BBD? Anxiety in classrooms, anxiety in adult and athletes. That's a huge thing too. Because as someone who was athletic, when I was younger and I played basketball, you always worry if you're good enough. You know what I'm saying? Or are you going to make that basket? Or are you going to help bring your team, to win? And you put a lot of pressure on yourself as a student athlete, because you got to keep your grades up. You got to do this, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
Same thing with OCD, right? When I was talking about my mother, I believe that I do have a slight, thing with OCD, because when I look at something and I don't get it like done right away, it really bothers me. Like, I can see a speck on the wall. And it really bothers me to see that speck on the wall, right? And I'll go to scrubbing it because I get that from her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as severe as hers was because she had a severe OCD. Like, I mean, severe. But it'll start affecting me the same way. Because I grew up in a household where we made our beds and we tucked our corners military style. You know what I'm saying? Every morning before school. You didn't leave a messy room. You kept everything tip top shape. And of course, I will say my mom didn't try to take it out on us or anything. Like, she let me make my bed, and if I didn't make it exactly, she wouldn't tell me I did a bad job or anything like that, make me feel bad about myself. And she would wait until I left the house to redo it, if that makes sense, because it would keep bothering her until she had to redo it. And she explained to me, it's not that you did it wrong, because some parents, when they have OCD, the problem is that they tell the child they didn't do it good enough, and they go and do it right behind them, and it gives the child a bad self-esteem issue, right? My mother didn't do that, thank you, Jesus. She didn't make me feel bad that I didn't do it the way she did. You know what I mean? But it would bother her until she fixed it.
Yep.
It OCD is where normally, let's say you yourself, Mr. Eddie, right? You have something that you obsess over, right? A little bit, like a little obsession with, let's say, a book or a TV show. For a person with OCD, it becomes so severe that it takes over. Like with the cleanliness or the germophobia, it becomes a part where, like for Howie Mandel, shaking hands, it literally pushes him through so much anxiety just to even try to do that, and puts him in such a state that the stress responses could cause a heart attack. That's what people don't understand, that OCD and anxiety are besties, but they also don't like each other at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so they play off each other. And what can cause heart attacks and these things, it can actually cause real health, and even when it comes to like strokes and things like that, because it can cause your blood pressure to go woo-hoo.
So, can having parents that are just very controlling in general create OCD in some form?
Yes. If you notice, like, let's say they had a certain way that, okay, they had you on a schedule, you could not break that schedule. If you so much as even step toe over it, or were 10 seconds late, or, controlling a way, it can cause OCD effects, because you yourself fear not doing what and make you obsessive about time management. It can make you obsessive about doing certain things the right way, right? Because that's the way they told you to do it. Or if they're really, like, you got like really bad about pushing you towards a certain, it's not just normally keeping yourself on time. It's to the point that if in case you are 5 seconds late to something, you will literally have a meltdown. Like it's excessive, if that makes sense. And you can have it to the lowest severity to the highest severity. I'm speaking on the more higher end. The lower range would mean you just get really bad anxious, right? And you're like, your chest is beating. But the higher end is you would literally fall to pieces. Some people pick their skin with OCD, like skin picking, because it almost becomes a repetitive movement, if that makes sense. Or if they see like a boo-boo, you know how some people, when they see they get and it's healing and the scab's still there, people will obsessively pick at it. That's a part of OCD also. Skin picking, like there's so many things that go along with OCD, from washing your hands until they bleed. Like, that's how severe the compulsion can be. Washing and scrubbing things with chemicals without gloves and hurting yourself. Like, it can become that excessive. The compulsion can. Or like when we were talking about in the very beginning, where it was talking about fear of losing something. Like if you lose something that normally wouldn't be such a big deal, right? Like the remote control. You literally freak out, and every day you have to make sure you know exactly where it's at. So you start putting it in the exact spot, in the same spot every day, and make sure it's there. Fear of leaving, like let's say leaving the coffee pot on. Everybody freaks out every once in a while and fears if they left the coffee pot on or the stove on, right? Or something, didn't turn something off. An obsessive compulsive person would have to turn the car around no matter if they're going to be late for school, work, or anything, just to make sure, or have someone else go check it for them, because that would bother them to the point of they wouldn't be able to get anything done over the day's time. They'd be freaking out all day long. And it can even make you like have aggressive like thoughts about yourself or others, unwanted or forbidden things. And you know, compulsion, like was talking about compulsively counting. You know the old thing where they say if it fairies around, if you throw salt, ain't it fairies for salt, or is it that they have to count every little thing? That would be a compulsion. That would be obsessive compulsive. How many grams of salt? You know what I'm saying?
So Cash says you learn to lie and manipulate to hide your compulsions.
And he also said OCD is like an insipid beast that exhausts. We're all on the spectrum to some degree. Some notes are higher and others on a different scale, like producing music. Cash's was triggered by divorce.
I wish Cash wasn't feeling. I wish he was feeling a lot better, because he said he would come up and talk about OCD, because not only does he live with it, he is he has it, and he's also an advocate for it. So not only when you have something and you advocate for it, you become more well diversed in it. Like, for example, bipolar disorder. Like, you got some people that have channels here on YouTube. Like, there's a channel on YouTube that is narcissism-based channel. There's another channel on YouTube that's borderline personality based. All they do is talk about borderline personality disorder. That's all they talk about. Every live stream they do is about borderline personality disorder. Should you date or not date a person with borderline personality disorder? Should you be friends with or not be friends with somebody who has borderline personality disorder? They have channels specifically just for that. Super Spy, how you doing? So but my channel with Charlie, my new co-host, well, she's not so new anymore. I think her cherry's been broken after a while, you know.
Multiple times.
We focus just on mental health in general, because not only do I struggle with mental health, she struggles with it. We just have different types of mental health disorders that we struggle with. Okay. And we fight our battles in different ways. Some people it's through music. Other people it's through journaling. Other people it's talking about it. Other people's praying about it. Every person's different. This is the reason why I say there's no such thing as normal. Now, there are average people out there that don't go through a lot of the things that people like us that have several types of mental disorders go through. There are people out there that don't, they might have slight depression. Who doesn't have depression? I think every human in this world has depression, okay? That's not a mental illness. Depression is common. You talk about it, you move forward. People with PTSD and OCD and BPD and DID and all these disorders. Depression.
ADHD.
Yes, ADHD, ADD.
Autism spectrum disorder.
Yes, these are all disorders that we struggle with. Depression comes and goes. It's not permanent. So with this channel, I like to spread awareness, and try to break the stigma. It's sad when you go to your friend and try to confide in your friend about something and they don't take you serious or they don't give a shit. That's not friends. Those are not your friends. Those are the bubble gum you step on the bottom of your shoe and get sticky and clean it off. Okay? Or the smelly shit you accidentally step on. Those are those people. Okay? You have no need for those people in your life. The thing is, okay, in life, when you're growing up, your goal is in life is to have a relationship with somebody. As you're growing up, you dream about having the perfect wedding, and the perfect partner, and being happy. And settling down and buying that house with the white picket fence. That's everybody's dream, is to have a beautiful life. Some of us don't get it. Some of us do, and we're not happy with it because we're not happy with ourselves. I look at it this way. When you're in a relationship, I want to go off about something. It's been on my mind for a long time because I watch a lot of YouTube and I hear a lot of people talking. That men don't communicate their problems with their partner because they're afraid their partner is going to take it and use it at ammo and throw it back in their face later on. Well, imagine being the woman in the relationship, right? And you go and talk to your partner about your issues, and your partner doesn't seem to care.
That is hurtful. That's hurtful.
Is that person worth your time?
No.
Is that person worth your energy?
Nope.
Is that person worth your heartache?
Nope.
Is that person worth the tears you cry over? No. Okay. This is the reason why I chose to be single for so long. Because every relationship I've ever been in, I'm an open book. But if they've taken that ammo and cocked that trigger back and shot me with it, okay, and turned it against me, it hurt.
I'm gonna say this. It's one of the saddest things that people use people's mental health against them. And when you think you're in a relationship type situation, right? You're with someone you think you can trust and you can be open with, and then they use it against you. To me, that is one of the most messed up things. I have never done that with anybody, even if I've broken up with them. I never used their mental health against them. Now, my ex was an alcoholic because of his mental health. He was self-medicated. I blamed the alcohol, right, for some of it and his behavior, but not what he was going through. I never threw up why. And I never even on the days when he had to self-medicate, there was one specific day every year. I never even said a word about it. And I let him get as wasted as he wanted to that day, if that makes sense. Because he had to pull the plug on his own mother as a child. He was 16 when he had to make that decision. And it left him with mental scars. You know what I'm saying? Really tough ones. And so on that day, every year, I let him do whatever he wanted to do on that day because I understood it, if that makes sense. But alcohol became a problem for him, right? But I never threw up the pain that he went through or the trauma that he went through that he told me about, you know, and never told him he was wrong for it. And I hate when men try to be open and honest with women. And I will say this does happen more in this sense, and it does happen in the male sense too. Males do this, especially narcissists or covert abuse. See, that's another thing we should speak on one day, Mr. Eddie, is covert abuse. Because a lot of men and women do not even realize they were in an extremely abusive relationship until they see a therapist. Because it's so covert, they don't even realize it until it's changed them, right? Like they're told they're ugly, they're worthless, they're this, and it's done such at little times. It's not as you know, as seen, like even when physical abuse starts, right? It's always, well, you made me mad or you did something, right? And so then the person starts blaming themselves for every little infraction. That's why you'll hear a lot of people say, I'm sorry, when they don't need to, because they're not really doing anything wrong and they over apologetic about things, which can lead to OCD. Because let's say your partner's like, well, you're not clean enough or you're not doing this enough. So they start obsessively, compulsively doing things, right? To try to make that partner happy. It can lead to many health, you know, many mental health conditions, covert abuse. And you don't know you've been through it until someone points it out to you a lot of the times. Yep, coercion and gaslighting. That is so true, Cash. The gaslighting, oh my God. And the love bombing after they know they've done something wrong. I love you, but there's always a but. It's not a I love you, I'm going to change my behavior, you know? Yeah. I hate when people try weaponize trauma for a cheap kick. I hate it.
You know,
I'm sorry you went through that.
You know what I hate?
What?
Okay. It's TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I hate TikTok with a passion. Okay. You know, if I did a TikTok stream, I'd be like, yeah, I'm on TikTok, but I'm just here for promotion. I have a channel on YouTube called Well, the Thing Is. So if you want to learn about real mental health and the truth behind it, come join me.
There's a lot of toxicity over there because people want to go viral and they want to, you know, hit the big time. But here's the thing, lying about yourself or your mental health is not the way to do so. That's begging. I've seen a lot of e-begging. I've seen a lot of drug addicts e-begging. There's a few ladies on here who cover a lot of those people on TikTok who do stuff like that. And there's a lot of people on YouTube who expose those people on TikTok for their toxic traits and behavior. And they created an echo chamber. I don't like echo chambers. If I do something or say something wrong, please call me the fuck out. Please do. Please do not let me continue to do something stupid and be loud and wrong. I don't want everybody being yes men if I'm doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Facts, Cash. Most toxicity is for clicks and views and essentially money. To me, money does not make the world go round, nor can it buy your happiness, because money comes and goes. It can be burned up tomorrow. You need it to live, which is obvious, right? But it shouldn't be the end all be all, and it shouldn't be what makes, because think about the richest people you know in the world. They're not extremely happy. You want to know why? First off, they don't know who's their true friend or who's there just for the money. You know, they literally have just as many mental health conditions as we do, and they still don't have a cure for it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You know, I've seen some of the happiest, like dirt poor people in the world. I've seen some of the most unhappy. You know, more money, more problems, as they say. You know, in the music industry, y'all have heard that song, more money, more problems. It is true. Yeah, he just had to go feed them and take care of them. You know, they all spoiled little shit over here. Oh, right now the other one's trying to get under the blanket. She's going to do her snoring in a minute. So if y'all hear a snore, it's a boxer, not me.
It's not me either. It's not me either.
No, it's not you. But if you do have to start snoring, I'm gonna be happy because then I know you're finally getting some damn sleep. I think I have this common effect on people sometimes, and I can either make you extremely like woohoo, or I can make you calm to the point you want to fall asleep. I'm really good at that. I don't know why. Emotions.
So after the live, I don't know, has anybody here in this chat or here heard of the rainbow people? Or rainbow gathering? They're just a bunch of hippies that travel around the country living off the land.
Oh, it's inspired by Woodstock.
Yeah. But they're just a bunch of hippies, and occasionally, a lot of them come all over the world, come to do the gathering, and they're about 20 minutes from me. So I am going to buy a couple of cases of water and take a little road trip to where they're at.
Awesome sauce.
So, to donate some water, bottles of water.
So for those who don't know who the rainbow people are, the rainbow family, basically they're all about they gather together about peace, love, connection, nature, kind of like from how Woodstock was peace, love, and laughter and stuff. They're pretty much about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd love to. I would have loved to see Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, I would have loved to see Janice and Jimmy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen, what's crazy, okay, is I want to talk about something real quick. The hardest topic out there is, and I'll bring it up because this is what this channel is about. Because I'm highly upset, right? So, being a survivor, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Put a one in chat if you were a fan of Michael Jackson. And then I'm going to ask another serious question. Although people are watching, it's not hard to get in there and type 1 if you're a fan. 2 would be if you're not a fan. And I understand, and I would respect. You say, 2. I would respect it. Nothing against it. Now, my other question, okay, is put a 1 in chat if you believe he did what he was accused of, or put 2 if you don't believe he did what he was accused of. And you have your own choice. You don't have to, because I'm gonna burst some bubbles. Okay, I'm gonna burst some bubbles. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, Stiffy's Hole, how you doing? All right. Now we're going to talk about this because not long ago I saw an article, a documentary of all these people coming out of the woodwork against Michael Jackson after his passing. Okay. After his passing, not while he was alive, after his passing. Did you not notice, okay, all the stuff that came out after he passed and not while he was alive? Is it making sense? Okay. The first time Michael Jackson got accused of something, it was a money scheme. They wanted money, right? Kid got rich. Okay. So, well, you can't because they're already dead. All right. They're already dead. So, then he gets accused again. And if you paid attention to the court case, it was all about money. Okay. It was all about money. It wasn't about what his charges were. It was about money. Okay. And if you know anything about Michael Jackson was about protecting children, not taking advantage of them. Okay. And the reason why I realized this is because growing up, all right, I have a lot of godchildren, okay? And I'm an uncle to a lot of kids. I'm a protector, okay? Kids trust me because I protect them from predators. You don't know the life I've lived, okay? Okay, one example, right? One example. I'm gonna share. Chalka, how you doing?
What up?
I'm gonna share an example. When I used to live in Concord, New Hampshire, I lived in an apartment complex called Meadowbrook, and I lived on the first floor, so you can knock on my sliding glass door anytime. I had my little brother that lived there, so all the kids in the neighborhood come over there and hang out because of my little brother, right? Well, a couple of kids come running to the sliding glass door, and they're like, Uncle Eddie, What's up? There's a stranger sitting in a car watching a couple of girls play, and we've never seen this guy around before. So, I didn't call 911 because they're going to let him walk with no fear. So I go and grab, I have, a very beautiful metal piece of sharpness called Betty. And I go grab Betty. And I walk over to this dude's car and I open up his passenger door and I get inside the car. And I put Betty right between his legs. And I said, let's have a conversation. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm waiting for somebody. Who you waiting for? What's their name? What apartment building do they live in? And then I look straight ahead and I see what he's seeing. Okay? I see what he's seeing. And I'm like, so you're just sitting here gawking at those children over there? Is that what you're doing? You're praying? You're a predator? So I push my beautiful Betty further towards, his nether regions. And I said, I'm going to give you one option. I'm going to get out of this vehicle and you're going to never come back here. And if I get you back here, we'll have other problems. Me and Betty will have fun with you. He never came back. Okay? If Michael Jackson did what he did, he'd be in prison. Okay? That's my humble opinion.
Well, also, my opinion, the reason I say to is many have come out in the opposite direction. Macaulay Culkin said himself that, and he was with him more than anybody. He said that Michael was the only one who protected him from BS that was happening in Hollywood. And that he was the only person that allowed him to be a kid. And even for the creation of Neverland, he said he created Neverland for that fact, was because he himself never got to be a child. He was pushed into stardom very, very young, and he knew what it was like. And it was for the kids of Hollywood, technically. Ended up being opened up to the general public, but it was supposed to be for them to be able to get away and be kids and just be able to enjoy it. In fact, a lot of times Michael wasn't even there.
And they asked Macaulay Culkin, right, about Michael Jackson's bedroom, right? Did you guys ever sleep in Michael Jackson's bedroom? And Macaulay Culkin said yes, because it was 3 floors. He said, yeah, it had 3 floors. He said no one ever slept in Michael Jackson's bed. We might have slept in his bedroom because it was 3 floors. His house was huge. It was like, okay, that's crazy. Someone's bedroom being 3 floors, But Corey Feldman, people think Corey Feldman is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. People think Macaulay Culkin is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Well, yeah, because Hollywood turned him that way. They're victims of abuse, and Michael Jackson protected these kids from the abuse, and they still went through it. I just, I don't think Michael Jackson, his mentality was not, he was never an adult. Who he reminded me of? He reminded me of a child. He had the body of an adult, the features of an adult, but the mind of a kid.
I think it's because he never got to experience childhood and he just wanted to be able to do that. Like, when a lot of people, if you yourself were able to have a childhood, right? You don't know what it's like. I myself do not know what it's like because I had an amazing childhood, right? My parents let me be a kid. But however, I have seen the effects with people whose parents are drug addicts or alcoholics, and they have to take care of, or let's say single parent wise, they have to take care of their younger siblings from the time they're young themselves. They never actually get to have a childhood. So yeah, I've seen the older
Hold
dude
on,
out there.
let me address Cash's statement. Okay, so Cash. So we covered OCD, and what happens is towards the end of the live, it changes. I got to stop doing that. I got to stop doing that, Charlie.
Yeah, we have a problem of getting on to 50 different subjects.
I got to stop doing that. You're right. Thank you for addressing that, Cash. So I think what I'm going to do is, have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? But the thing is you got a point, Cash. It's labeled obsessive-compulsive disorder. It is. It is. You're right. It's nothing against you. You're right. So, and thank you.
Thank you for keeping us on point, keeping our ADHD in check. Well, ADHD for me.
Mine is my unspecified personality disorder. Okay. My brain ventures off into other things. So, Cash is nothing against you. No hard feelings, bro.
Oh, no, thank you. We're actually saying thank you.
And Cash says, I'm a kid still. Innocence is taken too soon.
True.
Yes. And I was never a kid. I didn't have a childhood growing up. So I can relate. I didn't have a childhood growing up.
Well, see, that does come back to it ties all in. It comes back to the mental health awareness, right? Because not having that childhood or those things can lead to OCD and different problems, right?
Yeah.
It ends up becoming full circle if you think about it.
But thank you, Cash. I love it when you come over here. You and there's another guy that comes in here. His name is Silence. I haven't seen him in a while. He comes in here and he drops some knowledge, just like you, Cash. You guys are well-educated individuals. I miss Silence. Silence is good people, but he'll reappear one day. I want to do something for you, Cash, because every time you come in here, you're always respectful. You're very insightful. Okay, you're very insightful.
I'm smiling right now. If you can't see it, I know it's just a happy.
So, but I just wanted to, pass that on to you, Cash. And J-Mo, you too.
I will also say that, with OCD and anxiety and stuff, it can lead to many real life health issues. Cash shared with us on the community wall or whatnot. They were talking about diverticulitis and stomach conditions, stress in general, right? And most of these, when we talk about some of these conditions, they cause stress, right?
Yep.
And stress causes actual real life physical health symptoms. So that's why we always push to say, take care of your mental health as well as your physical, because some people, they ignore their mental health and think they only should take care of their physical. No, they go hand in hand. You have to take care of both. I love you, Cash. Look at you with your blue suit on. He got his blue suit on all nice and shit. I put sparklies on mine. I don't know if you did or didn't, but I did. I kind of made mine all blue and pretty. I love Cash though. I'd like to thank my dog and and maybe my missus, I suppose. Speech, you know.
I thank you for this award.
Laughter is the best medicine, I swear. Good evening, Mr. Keith.
Oh, thank you, Cash.
Mr. Keith says, good evening, as your peace and comfort grows more with every healing breath. Yes and yes. He's all about positive affirmations and like as you take deep breathing and doing things. And he says it in his own way, but it's a healing thing for your mental health and yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did Cash become a member twice?
I got no clue. What is he doing?
How is I don't know how that's possible.
I got no clue. Hold on. I got to screen share this shit.
Screenshot it.
No, screen share. Share. You became a member twice. What the hell?
Did you upgrade? That's the only thing I can think of. My mom says I'm special. Only Cash would make it a joke, right?
Pains, fears, and phobia release. So, but yeah, if you would like to join Wealth, the thing is, I'm trying to get enough members so I could do a members only live because I want to do a giveaway. So, the more members to join, I'll be able to do a members only giveaway, merchandise. I'll even show you. Let me go to my website. I have a website, you guys. I actually have a website. WTTIMHH.com. Okay. Now I'm going to screen share.
Huggies, Cash, have a good afternoon. He said, love you guys. Got to go off chat.
Okay. So this is my website. So say hypothetically you want this shirt right here, right? You want this shirt right there. That's me. Okay. That's me. As a Viking. Or you want pants. And you want to advertise me. You have my logo on one side, and on the other side, it advertises my website. WTTIMHH.com. Or you get this logo, and on the back, you have a battleship. And what that battleship represents is the ship is your brain, and the water, the rough seas around you is what you're always in. but that ship never floats and never sinks, and it just keeps going. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes exact sense. Kind of funny. I didn't know you had that. And when I made the banner thing, I thought about a ship in the sea, you know, because you're fighting. You're always fighting, you know, like the ship is always fighting the waves. We're always fighting to get on that calmer water.
And then this one right here is on the front of the hoodie. It says, we're all a little broken, but the last time I checked, broken crowns still color. Mental health awareness.
Very true.
Okay. And then here's this one. Shit, could be worse.
Shit could always be worse.
And you go to size, you can get it all up to 4X.
That's what I'm talking about for my big and tall men. My woo cornbread fed motherfuckers. Okay, sorry. That's my southern coming out. Y'all apologize.
And then I have more. I have all different things. This one right here says certified homebody. Okay. If you don't like that one, this is the colors of mental health and the stigma. Those are the colors of mental health. Okay. I have different. You want a mug? You want a journal? A tumbler? A beanie? I like this. I like this. I like this. This windbreaker. Okay. Well, the thing is, tomorrow needs you.
I think you even have a team neurodivergent one.
I have
I forget what it's on, but I remember seeing it somewhere.
this one says good vibes only.
I like that one too, and it's purple because I love purple. And it's got little.
I can also do this. Okay. Hold on. I can also do this. Give me just a second. To open up another window. I'm going to go to another window. Log in. Google. Oh, I gotta log in. I gotta go to a different browser. Okay. Okay. Let me stop sharing this. Let me go to share screen. Window. This one. Share. Okay. Let me go to my products. Okay. So, file library. So I have several different logos. Hold on. We go here. Hey. Where's it at? More. Okay. Let's go to new order. Let's go to personal. Oh, no. Let's go design something. If I can do that. All right. More. I might have to get my my secretary. I might have to talk to my secretary. Okay. All right. Stop sharing. I'm gonna have to talk to my secretary.
Secretary.
She's the one that created my website.
She's a smart lady.
So, and I also want to give. So you know how there's, and I've talked to G2K about this, right? So how when you go up here, it says WTTIMHH.com /. I'm trying to get it to where it'll say another subdomain where it would say WTTIMHH.com / get to know. So he would have his own subdomain. Okay. So, like, I wouldn't, like, where he could share his mission statement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be also a good area for him to be able to share, like, some of the cases he's been working on. Like, he does FBI Friday and stuff.
Yes.
That would be some of the, like, yeah.
So, but thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Mr. Well, the thing is, Mr. Eddie.
It's time for me to get going.
All right. Well, see what had happened was in retrospect. Well, the thing is, we love y'all huggies, and I'm gonna let Mr. Eddie take it out.